Everyone, it's Chris back in the cider shed to try a perry today. Not a cider, a perry. We've had a lot of perries lately. I want to keep on trying perries. Not from Mono Valley anymore. Finished all the Mono Valleys until we go back to try like 2 months. Go back and try the ones that hadn't carbonated yet, hadn't bottle conditioned. We hadn't realised how late they were bottled until we opened them, and then discovered that they weren't fizzy yet. So we're going to come back in a couple of months, around about Christmas time. Hopefully they'll be fizzy. So it'll be interesting actually to try them before and after to see the difference it makes. I assume they'll be less sweet, but it'll make a difference in many ways, and texturally, flavour-wise, I'd have thought. Anyway, so it'll be an interesting experiment. Although we've had a couple of brilliant ones. The Frederick, bloody hell, the Frederick was fantastic. I really liked the Frederick. It was excellent. Never had Frederick before, that varietal. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Brilliant. But today we are focusing on Ross-on-Wye. I've had lots of stuff from Ross-on-Wye. We love Ross-on-Wye. This is their single variety perry, Hendre Huffcap. We've had a few either in blends or single varieties. The one that comes to mind is the video number 83, the Premier Cru 2019 from Butford Organics. We like very much. Opened that for a special occasion because it was a special perry. So we opened it for a special occasion and enjoyed it very much. So here we go. So let's crack into this. Good for single variety making. You know, good for vintage sort of single variety perries. This. Actually, what does it say on the front? I think I might mention that. What's it? 6% ABV. So, Hendre Huffcap Perry, recorded by Charles Martel. He's not only a pear expert, but also a cheesemaker. He makes Stinking Bishop, which you may have heard of. And Stinking Bishop is in fact the pear that makes the juice, the perry that it's washed in. There you go, fact. Charles Martel is one of the very best vintage pears. It makes a superb single variety with light and easy drinking qualities and pleasant pear notes that give it a smooth flavour. Let's pour it out and try it. Okay, so paler in colour than the ciders that we're used to having. That seems to be the case with most perries. Some darker ones. The Betty Prosser was darker. And some of the Mono Valley ones were actually quite dark, actually. But the Betty Prosser is the one that I seem to remember being the darkest, generally, or one of the darkest, for sure. So there you go. So it's kind of like just a very, very pale sort of straw gold, straw gold, let's call that. Slightly hazy. Not loads, it was sparkling, not massively sparkling, but bottle conditioned. Quite a lot of residue in the bottle there from the bottle conditioning. Let's smell it. Too cold again, as always. If I get any other flavour descriptors, I'll pop them in. If you don't see any, it's because I pretty much, I would say nailed it, but smelled everything. Actually, just swirling that around, I can smell it. You know, got everything out of it I pretty much could. I mean, sometimes more subtle things do come to the fore, but, you know, sometimes it's right there. As soon as you open it, you can get most of it. There's some funk. We love the funk from Ross-on-Wye. Yep, and there's pear in the background. Sort of fresh pear. That pear drop thing again. Almost a little bit citric almost. There's no citric acid in this, but it almost feels a little bit citric or something, the acid on the nose. But yeah, actually quite funky. Front and centre is the funk for sure. And this particular perry, as I say, they might change as it gets some oxygen to it and warms up, but yeah, some sort of rich pear in the background, funk at the front. Sort of like sulphurous volcanic kind of funk. Do you want to say, rather than less farmyard funk. Got a cough, still got the cough. Excuse me. Oh. Alright. Follow through on the palate, much like on the nose. Obvious funk there. Feels like there's a minerality. There's a slight, almost feels like a very subtle dairy element to it, like milk, pastry, something like that. In the middle, just sort of underlying that creamy kind of thing. Maybe diacetyl, which is perceived kind of as butter. Think of Chardonnays, buttery Chardonnays, it's diacetyl. Get a lot from oaking as well, sometimes diacetyl, but it's part of a fermentation process. It's produced into fermentation as well. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. Depends on the quantities, and also depends on the eye of the beholder, or the palate of the beholder, if you like. But I like it in this. very low tannin. It's a nice round perry, this. You know, it's got minerality. It's not got a lot of acidity. That almost like dairy element makes it feel like round and fat, almost like a very like pear pastry kind of thing. What it makes me think of. There isn't that much pastry. It's like you've been shorted on the pastry if you've bought a pastry from a pastry purveyor, you know. But it's definitely there, and actually makes it very pleasing. Off dry, so some sorbitol in there, just giving a little bit of sweetness, but minimal. But nice though. It's great. I think if it was bone dry, I wouldn't like it as much. That hint of sweetness, and it is a hint. It's great. You're not getting like the leathery hard tannins on the back here to balance that. So actually, you don't need a lot of sweetness, but just a little bit. I think I've had some really dry perries, a few really dry perries lately, particularly from the thorn varietal, and I do like just a hint, not a lot, just almost like a seasoning, like with sugar rather than salt. Just lifts it a bit, gives it another dimension. This is nice and round, but nowhere cloying. Minerality. It has quite a ripe pear character, I would say, rather than a young green pear character. Loads of funk though. Loads of funk. Yeah. I like it. It's almost dry, but not quite. And I think it's perfectly balanced in that regard, for my palate. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff from those guys at Ross-on-Wye. Once again, liking it. I got a few cases of this. I might try and get some more. I couldn't get a lot of perry off them this last time because there was a shortage of 500ml clear bottles. They stopped making them during the lockdown, and people have got stuff sitting in vats and containers that they can't bottle and sell because of the glass shortage. Same at Gorkin. Couldn't get any original blend of them. They had it, but it was just sitting in fermenters, not sitting in bottles because they couldn't get it into these things. So yeah, so I think they're gradually catching up with the bottle manufacturing, and it's slowly going into bottle. But it was an issue, the stuff that I haven't been able to get. Hopefully in a week or two, I'll be able to go to get some original blend, and I think hopefully these guys will get some more perries bottled up reasonably soon. I think the Major as well possibly had an issue with at Ross-on-Wye. Anyway, nice perry. Get it if you can. Hendre Huffcap, single variety, Ross-on-Wye. I've got a yellow Huffcap to try from these guys next, which will be tomorrow, probably tomorrow. I like to try every day. Then I got an Oldfield and Butt blend, which I've had before, but I don't believe I tried it in the shed. So we got 3 perries in a row, all from Ross-on-Wye. What a great thing. Okay guys, thank you once again for watching. Until the next time, cheers.